Hi. I lied. I said in my previous video that I was going to immediately start filming this one, and it wasn't immediate. I took a stitching break, of course, and I watched some Flosstube, as fate may have it. So it's probably about. I mean, it's not. It's like 45 minutes. It's an hour really. But my tea has gone cold. I'm gonna drink it anyway. So, this is my January video. It is February, but this is my time capsule for January. So basically what's going to happen is I'm going to talk about what I stitched on this month, because that's the most important thing. But I'm also going to talk about what I read this month, anything of note this month in terms of like scheduling stuff and things like that. I'm going to tell some stories. Not that I have a lot of stories. I'm going to tell them anyway. And then I'm going to show you what I got in my Ipsy bag, my makeup bag. So stitching first, and then if you don't care about what comes after that, you're more than welcome to go. I will not be mad. And then I'm going to talk about books that I'm reading or read in January. Not finished, but read. And then I'm going to talk about movies. I didn't see any movies in January, but I would talk about movies normally. Talk about my bullet journal. I'll show you my title page for my bullet journal. Keep in mind that I can't draw to save my life, but I'll show you anyway. And then I'll talk about my Ipsy bag, and I think that's it. We'll see what happens. I babble, so you never know. As previously mentioned in my previous video, I am razor focused on 4 projects in 2019. One of them is a sal. And then 2 of them are sals for myself that I have deemed sals. And then one of them is on the back burner, but closer to the end of the year, August-ish, it's going to become very important because I need to finish it this year. So I'll start with that one. I didn't stitch on this at all in January. That's a lie. Maybe a couple days. A couple days at the beginning, perhaps I stitched on this. I can't really remember. It was a long time ago. But it's my ink circles circled triangle. It looks the same in the last video because this is not what I stitched on. But basically I just have this left to go, and then the second, I think I have 2 more pages and then it's done. But again, this is on the back burner. This is not priority number 1. Come August, it will move up the roster. I'll only have 3 projects. One of my projects finishes in August, so I'll only have 3 projects in August, and this will be taking the place of the other one. So that is around, but not, I stitched on it a little bit. Oh, I guess I didn't show you the needle minder that's on that. My mom bought me this needle minder for Christmas from Gecko Rouge. They're cats, you can't really see them. There's a couple charts that I want from Gecko Rouge, so I'm obsessively, compulsively checking Gecko Rouge on an almost daily basis. I don't think they have sales, but I've been checking. Maybe they have sales. I don't know. I really want to do a full coverage piece. Not my Haid, because I don't. We're having a lover's quarrel. But I have another Haid that I want to stitch. I'm going to babble a bit. Excuse me. I have a Haid that I'm going to stitch in 2020, which is a stitching shelf. It's like a bookshelf with a bunch of stitching people in it. I'm going to stitch that, but I also want to stitch some other projects. And then I think after that, I might do, not after my Haid, because it takes a trillion years. I understand that. But I think that after I stitch what I wanted to stitch, blah, 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 eventually I'm going to get some Gecko Rouges. 4 in particular that I really want to stitch. So that's that. So let's talk about what I stitched on. I stitched on 3 projects primarily. The first project that I stitched on is, there's 12, it's one full chart, but there's like 12 kind of mini charts. And I'm keeping it in this large zippy pouch that I got from a dollar store. I was like, okay, $1.25. I was like, shoot. So I bought 2, and then I went back and bought some more. It's fine. So I'm stitching. Okay, so in my last video, I mentioned that I work in jewelry. And if you didn't watch that, I work in jewelry. And I love stones. I love, you know, all those things, all the sparklies. And so I found this chart online that is gemstones. They're the birthstones of the month. So I'm stitching one a month every month for the year. So that is my first project of the month. So I stitched this starting January 1st, and I just stitched it till it was done. But it's the Soda Stitches Birthstone Girls. So I stitched January. I have the second half too, but I won't show that to you because that's something for later. So I'll show you what I stitched on January. So she's done. Oh, so I smoke my needle minder. Oh, that's horrible lighting. Oh my god. Can you see her? She's so cute. You can't see her because when I bring this up close, the fabric gets grumpy. Anyway, that's Garnet. I stitched that one. This is the needle minder that I bought specifically for the project because it's a little gemstone. And this is my Cheshire Cat. He moves. The Cheshire Cat is my favorite all-time literary character from the book, but primarily the one that Sterling Holloway voices. He's my favorite. Favorite. I actually have a tattoo that means that, oh my gosh, I have a tattoo that was inspired by the Cheshire Cat. I would show it to you. Maybe I'll show it to you after I put this down. It's not, don't worry, it'll still be G-rated. Don't worry. Anyway, so that's her. I don't know if you can tell, but so she, the gemstone here, I added sparkly floss into it. I can't, oh, kind of. I added, so I went to Stitch It Central in London. Caroline's, the one that Caroline talks about all the time. Caroline, sorry. And I was talking to the girl, and I'm like, I want something sparkly, but I don't want to use Petite Treasure Braid, and I don't want to use Color Effects by DMC. So she recommended this. You can't see it. Oh. And it's nice, actually, to stitch with. It's sort of, I mean, it's irritating, but it's nice. It's nicer than other things I've used. So that's super, super nice. So I added that into the birthstone to make it sparkly because I love sparkles and it just wasn't. There we go, kind of. Well, it's fine. Just take my word for it that it's sparkled. I have finished Amethyst, the February one, but I finished it in February, so I can't show you. That'll be, I'm gonna take that off. That'll be next month. I'll show you that next month. But there she is. I'm leaving enough space in between them so that I can turn them into like maybe little pillows or frame them all. But like, I bought this fabric from Hand Dyed by Stephanie. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Hand Dyed by Stephanie. I fold it so that my, oops, I got another email. I fold it so that my stitching is on the back because safety first. The fabric that I got was Fabrics by Steph. What is it called? Hold on. It is called Elizabeth. It is 14 count Ada, which I don't think is what I ordered. 14 count Ada. I'm not sure what, for the life of me, I can't remember what I actually ordered, but I had thought I had ordered a linen, but I got an Ada. No complaints. I like stitching on Ada. Yeah, 14 count Ada, which is totally fine. I kept the card. Which is totally fine. I had intended to stitch them smaller, I think. So I ordered a different fabric, but got this Ada instead. So they're just bigger than I thought they would be, which means that the fabric is not big enough. So I ordered another one. I know it's going to look different. I've learned my lessons with colorways, but that's okay. I ordered another one exactly the same, and then I can only fit 4 of the girls on one fabric. So that's 12 divided by 4 is 3. So I'll have to order a third one down the line. But I'm not going to worry about that for now. My Ipsy bag to go with it is bejeweled. Because they're birthstones. Oh my god, I just love it. It makes me so happy. So that is my first project that I stitch on in the month. And February's is done, but I'll show you that in February. So that's just in this pouch. Keep it all together. Keep it all together. The next thing that I stitch on, so I just finished Amethyst is what I was stitching on in between my videos, so I finished it so I could take it off the Q-snap and show you. So now that Amethyst is done, I will start stitching my next project, which is in my purple bag. I had a very clear plan for my life this year in terms of stitching, and then Tiny Modernist was like, here's another Sal. And I was like, dang it. So I'm doing the, that's not what you want to see. I'm doing the Quotes to Live by Sal by Tiny Modernist. This is, my mother and I are stitching this at the same time. Excuse me. We're stitching this at the same time. So we're having a race. And she's winning right now because I was stitching Amethyst. But I'm going to catch up and I'm going to beat her. I'm going to beat her. Not beat her, but like, I'm pulling to the winning. I'm going to win. I'm going to win. I had also purchased a needle minder for this, and now I don't know where I put that needle minder. Is it on the project? Ah, it's on the project. Smart girl. So I haven't gotten super far on this, but this is what I'm going to stitch on until the 22nd of February. And my needle minder says, in the end, we only regret the chances we didn't take. Which is super cute. And I thought that that fit well with my Quotes to Live By. So that's Quotes to Live By. That is literally, I'm going to stop filming this when I'm done, and this is what I'm going to stitch on, whoops, for the rest of the day. I'm going to put my Cheshire Cat on here because this is my project now. Boop. There he is. Safe and happy and healthy. My project bag for this one are butterflies. They're little butterflies. I've also, I bobbinated all of my projects before. So I have umpteen bobbins. But I have discovered the joys of floss-away bags. Now these are not floss-away bags. They're tiny Ziploc bags from Michaels. But they fit so well into my little bags. It just makes me so happy. So that is what I am stitching now, today. This is what I'm going to start stitching once I'm done talking to you. Then, on the 22nd of February, I have to put that down, and I have to start stitching my fourth project. My fourth project. This is the one that's going to be done in August. And it's in a zippy, but I do have a project bag for it too. I just bought that one yesterday at the dollar store, so we'll get there. But basically, this one is Clouds Factory, the Zodiac sampler. We'll see if I can put it in a photo. Probably not. Let me see if I can tell you. Oh, shoot. Let me see if I can show you. Let me see. That's going to be too much work. Never mind. It's the Clouds Factory Zodiac sampler. And I have to start Pisces on the 22nd of February, because that is when, roughly, that starts. So I have all of my things ready. Now, this project, I'm changing a lot of stuff around. I'm sorry, hold on. Let me just stop that. This project, I'm changing a lot of stuff around because I wanted to use sparkles. And I don't know if you remember me talking about my girls, in the Celtic girls in my previous video, but they all use treasure braid in their dresses, and I hate stitching with treasure braid, but I love the way that it looks once it's stitched. So I'm using treasure braid in the Zodiac one, and I kind of am mad at myself for doing that, but it's okay. And I'm also doing beading, because I don't have any projects right now that have beads, and I love beading. I love, love, love beading. So I'm actually pretty far on my Zodiac sampler, because I started it in August of last year, and it is now February. So I'm almost halfway. I might be more than halfway done. So anyway, so that is what it looks like now with all the months in it. Dun, 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 dun. So I started off with Leo, right? This is Leo at the bottom, Leo. So hard to see Leo. And the stars, like the stars are beads. They're beads. And he has beads in his eyes. And the beads in his eyes are the birthstone for the month. Because I'm like that. Then I did Virgo. There's Virgo with a little teddy bear. Then we have Libra. There's Libra with the scales. It's October. Then we have Scorpio. Stop it. Scorpio, which is November. Well, Scorpion. Then I have Sagittarius, I think, which is December. And then I've lost a month somewhere. I stitched Capricorn in January. It's January, December. And then Aquarius I stitched in January. And I think I finished it in January. But Aquarius's primary month is February, if that makes any sense. So if you're not familiar with the westernized zodiac, how that works. Basically, anywhere, it's usually the 21st or the 22nd when it starts over. So it starts over at the end of a month, but then it lasts for that whole next month, right? So it starts in January, but there's more weeks in February that have that astrological symbol. So I made that the birth. Does that make any sense? I don't know if that makes any sense. So I finished it in January, but it's technically February's sign, and that's Aquarius. Yeah. So that is what I stitched on from the 22nd-ish of January until I finished it. And then, so basically how it works is that at the first of the month, ideally, or at the first of the month, I have to start stitching the birthstone. But if I'm still stitching the zodiac, then I just finish the zodiac and then start the birthstone. But if I finish the zodiac with enough days in between, I can stitch quotes. And then I'll stitch quotes in between. But basically, the first of the month is the birthstone until I'm done. And this birthstone has taken me 7 days. But I only had I only had half an hour of stitching on it every day because I was working. So it took me 7 days to stitch the amethyst, which I won't show you. And then now I'm starting quotes, or stitching on quotes, and I'll stitch on quotes until the 22nd, and then the 22nd I will do Pisces. And then I will stitch Pisces until I'm done it, and then if I'm done it before the 1st of March, then I will stitch quotes in between, and if I'm not, then I'll stitch. It makes sense on paper. It's okay. It makes sense to me, and it makes sense on paper. So that is that. I'm going to slide these into the other project bag for that. But those are my 4 razor focus projects for 2019. The Baroque, the ink circles, Cirque de Triangle, birthstones, quotes to live by, and the zodiac. And I'm going to finish definitely the zodiac and the birthstones this year. Hopefully quotes. And please, please, please finish Cirque de Triangle. Ideally. So that is it for stitching. If you do not care about books or movies or bullet journaling or makeup or other random stories, you are more than welcome to leave. Thank you so much for watching me. Thank you. Onwards then. In January I'm reading 3 books. Kind of. I'm really just reading one. I'm pretending that I'm reading 2 others. I have a book in my work bag that I don't have with me. It's like way over there. I have a book in my work bag that I read when I'm at work sometimes. And I'm trying to read Wuthering Heights. It's not going well. I really don't like it. I want to read it so that I can say that I've read it because I haven't read it, but I really don't like it. So we'll see how that goes. The second book that I'm reading is called Unplug, which is a meditation book. I very much enjoy meditation. I do it on a daily basis. Just because it gives you 5 minutes of just you time. And I think that that's important for your mental health. Every day to just spend 5 complete minutes on yourself and only on yourself. So, this has been really good. It's actually written by a woman, which I didn't realize because that name, I'm like, oh, I don't know. So I just assumed it was a guy. I don't know. Joke's on me. I started reading this January 2nd. So that I'm not very far. It's a slow pace. But it's good. I do recommend. And this one is a library book and therefore has my city on it. And I am not supposed to tell strangers where I live. So, I'm going to just try and block that off. This is a library book. You know how they say don't judge a book by its cover? I do. I very much do judge books by their covers. And one of my favorite things to do is go to the library and pick up a book completely based on its cover and like its leaflet, synopsis of the story. And then just rent that book and try and read it for 3 weeks. So far I've had great success. I actually found one of my new favorite authors and one of my new favorite series, which I can't remember to save of me what it's called. I think it's by Deanna Raybourn. It's called A Curious Beginning, or at least the first one is. That's not what I'm reading. That's just my favorite book right now. But I recommend. I do recommend just walking into the library and being like, that's what I'm going to read. Anyway, so this time I picked up this one. Designed for Dying. I, for a really long time, thought that I didn't like murder mystery. But I'm a liar. I'm lying to myself. I love murder mystery. And this is exactly what it is. It's basically based around this girl and one of her acquaintances is murdered. But it's really good. It's set in like old Hollywood. So like 1920s Hollywood, back when silent films were transitioning over into talkies or like sound films. So it's quite fascinating to just like see that, like, to read about that time period, because I don't think I've ever read a book set in old Hollywood, 1920s, like behind the scenes, like budding actresses, and the wardrobe department is fascinating. It's quite good. The story is good. I'm enjoying the story, but the setting is fantastic. So I do recommend. I think this is the first book in a series, so I'm probably gonna have to read the whole series. But those are my books. I did not see any movies in theater in January. No, I did not. I did not see any movies in theater in January. Nope. So that is that. Let's talk about my bullet journal. Boom. Last year was like a pink. This year's like a blue. It's the one has the elastic. I've become obsessed with like little stationaries and stickers. So that just says hello gorgeous because I don't know, do you care about all of my pages? Like I have my whole calendar. I don't know if you care. I'm just going to skip that stuff. I'm just going to skip it. I have a bookshelf of books that I want to read. Books that I will read. I have to read Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban this year. I'm reading all the Harry Potter books in the 20th year since their release. So I read Secret of Nim. That's not a Harry Potter book. I read The Chamber of Secrets last year in October for Halloween because it's been 20 years since it was released. And this year is the 20th anniversary of Prisoner of Azkaban. So I will be reading that in October. I also have to read Artemis Fowl. Probably just the first one because the movie comes out later this year. But I might read the whole series again. I love that series so much. So, yep. Let me see what else. Ooh, I started watching The Bodyguard on Netflix. It's really not like the Whitney Houston movie. I don't know what I was expecting, but certainly wasn't that. It's okay. I think I'll finish it because it's only 6 episodes, and I think the guy's kind of cute. But otherwise, it's really not my style of show. But that's really the only show. I guess that's a lie. I have a whole list of shows that I'm reading, or watching, I should say, but I'm not really watching them. I don't think I've watched any of these in January. So, actually, I'm such a liar. I watched the entire series on Netflix. I don't know if you have Netflix or if it's on your Netflix because I've got the Canadian Netflix. But if you have Netflix and Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries are on your Netflix, watch it. I love her. It's set in Australia, in between the wars, in between World War I and World War II. It's set in Australia, and she's just fabulous. I love her so much. So I watched season 2 and season 3 of Miss Fisher for the second time because it's so good. What else? That's it. I have another quotes page. Hey, I had a quotes page in my other one, and I put in like 3 quotes, and I was like, that's probably good. And yeah, I think that's basically it. Was there anything good that happened in January? Let's see. So I really like sparkles. There's my title page for January. Stolen right off of Pinterest. Credit to the original maker on the Pinterest. I don't know who you are, but you did fabulous, and it was very easy to copy. I love washi tape, and my brother said that I could buy a whole pack of washi tape that was sparkly, and there's 12 colors plus black, and there's 12 months, so I'm going to use 1 color of sparkly washi tape. Can you see that it's sparkly? Kind of. So, yeah, so I kind of write down like all of my habits and things that I did that day, what I spent that day, which is actually kind of nice because then at the end of the week I can be like, girl, you spent too much money on whatever you spent money on. Yeah, I think January was a pretty good month. I'm trying to remember. Whoops. Yeah, I'd say January was a pretty good month. I worked a lot, which is fine. I stitched a lot, which is better. I accidentally signed up for a yoga class. Don't ask me how that happened. I was just calling to ask a couple questions, and then before I knew it, I was signed up for the class. And I was like, that's not what I wanted, but I'll come. I'll go. And my first yoga class was on the 1st of February, and it was actually quite fabulous. I have another one tomorrow, and I'm very excited about it. But that happened in January. Just magically signed up for a yoga class. I think that's it. I don't have a lot of stories from January. I have quite a few from February. I'll tell you this one because I'm quite mad. I floss on a daily basis, like dental floss, not like the weird dance move, but the dental floss. I floss every day because you're supposed to for better teeth health. And I was flossing a couple days ago and I popped a filling out of my tooth. So because I'm taking great care of my teeth and flossing every day, I have to spend more money on my teeth because I popped out a filling. I'm so mad. So I have my dentist appointment is next Friday. 2 Fridays. It's on the 21st of February because it just got moved. But yeah, that was my January. It was a good all-around January. I enjoyed it. I have few complaints from January. My January makeup bag was this one. I have no projects that match that, but it's okay because maybe I will. I got a brown eyeliner, which I won't use because I have one already. It's also a pencil eyeliner, and I'm not a fan of pencil eyeliner, so I'll gift that to somebody. I got hand cream, the perfect size to fit in my purse. It's actually quite nice hand cream too. It's in this brutal cold winter we are having. It is nice. It is nice. I got a brush. I collect these brushes. I don't use them. If I were to use it, I would use this as a highlighter brush. But I don't use them. I collect them. So that's just going to go over there. I have this primer. It's like an illuminating primer, and I've stopped wearing foundation because I don't see the point of it for myself to wear foundation on a daily basis. So I won't be using this primer anytime soon, so I don't know if it's good. I assume that it is, but I don't know because I haven't used it. And I got sparkly eyeshadow, which is always fun. It's like glitter, so you have to put it on with like well, I guess you don't have to, but it looks better if you have like a wet eyelid first and you like stick it on there. But wow, I'm not going to wear that on a daily basis either because I don't go not just going to walk around the street with extra sparkly eyelids. I could do, but I won't do. Yeah, so that was my January. That was my January in a nutshell. Thank you very much for listening. And I'll see you in March for my February video. Probably. I don't know. We'll see. Thank you, and take care. Stay safe.